Your throat is one of the most common places that hold trauma. Did you know that public speaking is more feared than death? All this fear gets accumulated in the throat. When you were younger and you got up in front of the class to speak, that tension that you felt accumulated in your throat and stagnated. Do you know how cats and dogs go like this after they experience something more intense? They're resetting their nervous system. They're working through the trauma that they experienced. As human beings, we have the same mechanism, but what do? We say, I'm fine. We don't do like this. We don't allow our body to restore itself the natural ways. We fight the urges to scream or to gag or to do certain things to release that tension that happened. In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can release tension from your throat and trauma from your throat in several ways that are very powerful. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm Hoss, and I've struggled with a speech impediment the majority of my life. Some ear, nose, and throat doctors diagnosed me with muscle tension dysphonia, tension in the muscles around the voice that stifle the expression, and some told me I was fine. I'm also a holistic voice coach. I work with many clients, and some of them actually went to ear, nose, and throat doctors. And even though they experienced all the symptoms of muscle tension dysphonia, the day or the morning when they went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, they told them they were fine because the tension was not active. And that is more evidence that it's not a physical problem, it's a psychological problem. And to target it, you want to use both the physical approach and the psychological approach to get the most sustainable results. Let's start with the more physical approach. And I like to test everything that I do. So before we begin, I want you to say hello and test how it feels from 0 to 10. If it feels satisfactory, it's 10 out of 10. And it feels so muted and silent, it's 0. So for me, I'm going to say hello. I'll give this 7.7. Now, I want you to begin massaging your throat by pushing in and taking a breath and soften and allow any emotions to come up, because that tension, that trauma that's trapped in your voice, when you press on it somatically, meaning in the body, you start to feel certain emotions. If you've practiced in that in any type of therapy or healing or life coaching or somatic work, you may be more sensitive to emotions. If this is your beginning of the journey, you may have more, let's say, desensitization, and it's going to take some repetitions to begin to feel what your body is telling you. Emotion is energy in the body. Emotion, energy in motion. And when it gets suppressed, it becomes stagnated energy in the body. And as you're doing this exercise, allow yourself to cough if you need to. This is energy releasing. Tension releasing. In this area where the jaw is, it holds a lot of tension. Feel free to press in here. Be gentle with yourself. Other side. You can even press on both sides. I'm getting a lot of release myself. Now, take a sip of water. And now let's test. Hello. I'm going to give that 7.8. So I was 7.7, now 7.8. Just from massaging. Okay? And sometimes it makes even more drastic difference. However, from 7.7, 7.8 is still quite remarkable. Now, I want you to do a vocal fry. So make sure that your hello, you know what the score it has currently, and then do this sound. Good job. Allow the crackly sound to happen, the distinct vibrations. By the way, if you are serious to speak with confidence for life, click the link in the description to join my free mini course where I walk you through psychological healing methods and physical vocal healing methods. Let's go back to the vocal fry. Allow the vibration to lower in your body. Once you get the hang of it, if yours is sounding like that's not the vocal fry, that's called a hum. It's totally different. Different exercise, still powerful, but different. We want this one. Like you just woken up and you're very stingy letting out air from your lungs. This is literally releasing tension from your throat, and you may also get some sort of flashbacks or energy in your body because it's emotion that needs to be processed. And that's going to be the next exercise. Maybe target the back of your throat. Notice areas where there's tension and gently direct the vibration towards them. Change the position, your posture, and notice if you notice different things. So in my journey, I used to only be able to speak when my head was forward. When my spine was straight, my voice would get stiff and monotone. Doing some exercises, and the exercises I'm sharing with you, I was able to create more flexibility and more agility in my voice, more variation in my tonality, so I can express different emotions and speak more comfortably. All right, now let's test. Hello, hello. Wow, I'll give it hello, hello, 8.1. So from 7.7, did the massage, became 7.8. Now did this for several minutes, and now it's 8.1. Every single vibration is a treasure in releasing tension from your voice. Okay, I was working with a client and I shared with him so many vocal exercises, and he was getting amazing results. He went on a job interview and crushed it. However, he contacted me a couple weeks later and he told me that his body's filled with these emotions that he doesn't know what to do with. He's overwhelmed by this energy in his body. And we hopped on a call and I helped him process these emotions, and I helped him with few techniques to process not only the emotions but the limiting beliefs and the programming that created this tension to begin with. If you only rely on physical exercises, you're going to hit some sort of a brick wall, some sort of a plateau. If you rely only on psychological healing, you're not really going to get much physical results, because you need both. Because we have a physical body and we have a psychological mind. And we also have a spirit, and you need to work on all three. So let's dive into a psychological exercise. I want you to think of a time where you felt tension in your voice. A time when somebody spoke to you in a certain way that you didn't know how to respond, or somebody spoke to you with such authority when you were potentially younger, or it could be recent, could be last week, could be this morning. It does not matter when it happened. What matters is you need to now reparent yourself. I give the analogy, if a 12-year-old kid went to school, let's call him Ben, went to school and got bullied, got beaten, spat at, got humiliated, lunch money stolen, people laughed at him, and then he came back home and there was no one home. He came back to an empty house, no food, no parents, no siblings, no neighbors, just completely alone. Nobody to ease his pain, nobody to tell him stories, to soothe him and give him support and to teach him how life works. Nobody to teach him how to defend himself. And let's give another example of Will. Will went to school, got bullied, got spat at, got humiliated, lunch money stolen, and came back. His parents were home. Food was ready, and they asked him what happened, and they supported him. They loved on him. They hugged him, and they taught him. They signed him up for martial arts lessons so he learns how to defend himself. And they told him stories of when they got bullied when they were younger. And his siblings told him stories how they got bullied as well, and how they defend himself and what they learned and what they could do, what they couldn't do. And he feels supported. His nervous system is beginning to calm down and restore itself. Which one of both of them experienced the same traumatic event, but which one of them is in deep trauma? Which one of them has a psyche that's going to be impacted in a negative way for a long time? First one, Bill, because he received no support, he received no love. He did not process his trauma. He did not get parenting. He did not get good parenting. But the second one, Will, got good parenting. And he was able to process his trauma way better. He was able to process life way better. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to think of an event and open your hand. I call this the hand healing method. And I want you to see yourself in that situation on your palm. And you're going to ask yourself 4 questions. The first one, how do you see the world? I'm speaking slowly because I want you to go into a deeper state. I want you to feel. I want your unconscious mind to be active now. What is your perspective of the world? Take a breath. Allow the version of you that's on your hand to breathe. And here's the thing. In the 3D world, there's only now. But in the psychological world, all past yous are still alive, are still active. They're not gone with the time. They're still here. The psychological world doesn't have time like the 3D world does. It's beyond space and time. So when you imagine yourself on your palm, psychologically it's real. Mentally it's real. And this version of you will converse with you and will change when you reparent him or her. And they actually need you to do that. So see that version of you, ask, what is your perspective of the world? And just observe and be present. Don't resist. Don't fight. Don't run away. Don't try to fix. Be your best friend. Be a grandfather, a grandmother to yourself. The reason why I say grandmother, grandfather, because if sometimes a father is too emotionally attached and can try to fix, sometimes a mother is too emotionally attached and can try to fix, or the opposite side of the spectrum, just completely toxic and not caring, and also trying to fix sometimes can get a little bit toxic. However, be your best friend, be a grandfather to yourself, be a grandmother to yourself. Give yourself love, wisdom, and presence. This is the most important thing, presence. Which means you need to spend time with yourself. It's not something that you can do rushed. The more time you spend with younger parts of you, the more healed you become. The more you connect with yourself. The more you know who you are. It's heartbreaking how many times I hear, I don't know who I am. This is one of the best ways to get to know who you are. Spend time with your younger selves. Second question. Ask, what are the thoughts that are ruminating in your mind? You know, like a washer, when you wash your clothes, thoughts are ruminating. Same thoughts over and over. Just observe. You can offer suggestion if it feels appropriate, but don't try to fix. Don't be on motivational mode right away. You want to build trust with that younger part of you, especially if trust has not been built before. There's times for motivation. There's times for pep talk, but it's not all the time. The foundation is building trust, love, and presence and acceptance. Life is difficult for everyone, and for younger parts of you, don't deprive yourself from that mercy and grace for yourself. Give yourself that love and acceptance. Don't be too harsh on yourself. You don't want to be too harsh on yourself. Some people may think, oh, I'm too harsh on myself because I'm trying to be productive and do the right thing and get things done. And if I'm too kind to myself, I will get nothing done. That's actually an illusion. Because when you build more trust with yourself, it becomes second nature to be responsible. And you do it in an orderly way, not in a perverted way. So the second question is, ask what are the thoughts that are ruminating? Just observe, be present, make yourself feel seen. The third question, what are your feelings about the world? Negative, positive, allow yourself to feel anything and everything. And accept yourself anyway. Even if you think emotions are bad, shame, anger, guilt, hatred, resentment, vengefulness, allow. See yourself in that emotion. It's not like you're acting on them and doing something bad. You're actually healing them. But to heal it, you must bring it to light. Take a breath, allow yourself to relax, and allow that version of you to relax and feel safe in your palm. The fourth question. Ask yourself, what are your feelings about yourself? And really support yourself in that one. If you're embarrassed of yourself, support yourself. If you're disgusted or think you're inferior, support yourself. Say, I understand, I hear you, I feel you. I love you anyway. It may not register, and it may register. I encourage you to say it anyway, and feel it anyway. Try to feel it deeply, in your bones, in your heart of hearts. And then the final question to wrap it all up, ask that version of you, what do you need from me now? Does that version of you need food, a snack, a joke, an advice, a hug, or more presence, more time? Does that version of you need to play, dance, do art? Whatever it is, scream. Become your best friend. Why is this important? Because we are controlled by our emotions and our younger parts, and then we rationalize our life decisions afterwards. So, how do we make decisions in life? Emotions or logic? Both. But emotions are the driver, and logic justifies our emotional decisions. And the emotions are controlled by our unconscious mind and our psychological parts. The more we do this work, the more we become integrated, the more we feel whole, and we have more sovereignty and autonomy. So, after that question, what do you need? You can ask it several times. Do one more time. What else do you need from me now? And then I want you to rate how you feel now from 0 to 10 compared to how you felt before the exercise. Like I said, I like to measure everything. If there's 1 point of improvement, that's huge. And if you made huge progress, if you went from 10 out of 10 being a trigger to 0 out of 10, congrats. That is even better. And that's how easy it is to release trauma from your voice. Doing this work several times is so important, and this is actually what activated different colors and tonalities in my own voice. If you go back to my videos, you'll hear my voice more monotone, more stifled, more stuck in high pitch. And the more recent videos, you'll start to hear more tonalities in my voice. And it's not only vocal exercises, it's vocal exercises combined with psychological healing, inner child work, reparenting work. This work is not only important for you to speak more confidently, this is really to live from your heart and soul, to be on purpose. You know what happens when we are triggered? As you see me right now, on your phone or your laptop or whatever device, you have awareness of the balance of the frame. You see me and you see what's behind me, the books, you see something above the bookshelf, the medals on the wall and the guitar and the diplomas or certifications on the wall. You have a balanced perspective. You have good awareness. When you're triggered, somebody says something that triggers you, like people say, I see all red. and then you can't control your behavior. It's almost like you have all these options and you have this awareness, and all of a sudden it's tunnel vision and you only see one thing. It's as if this happens. If I am the trigger, I'm blocking the whole frame and you see one thing and you have no other options. You can only react to what you're being triggered with. But then once you do healing exercise, your awareness comes back. You see life's challenges as life challenges and not life or death situations. You don't see them bigger than they are. Now, how much of these exercises should you do? I would say the vocal fry, you can do it for 5 minutes a day, up to 1 hour a day, because it's a very gentle exercise. And the healing exercise, I would do it at least once a day. You can listen to this video. It's important to have somebody hold space for you. And if you don't have a life coach, then you have this video. You can play the video and the video holds space for you because the mind tries to escape. This thing is supposed to protect us and it's supposed to run away from pain. And those psychological younger parts are in pain. So this thing is running away from this thing. And we need to develop ways to calm it down, get it out of the way so that we create the healing and the integration that we want. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, I encourage you to watch this next one over here where I walk you through another meditation to really tap into the power of your authentic voice. Enjoy. This meditation is a daily boost of your emotional comfort, the quality of your voice, and you achieving your